And welcome back, people. The long-awaited, the Toe Drag podcast. Season what? Is this season 3 or something now? Whatever it is, it's not. It's not even the same. A
This
different
is
season.
this
We're gonna
is
say it's
Toe
the same
Drag
season.
Rebirth.
Toe Drag Rebirth 2.0. There we go.
Facts.
Rebirth 2.0. Bring it back, Call of Duty. Come on now. Um,
This is gonna be fun though.
it's the off season. It's the off season right now. It's boring, but we're gonna give some predictions on divisional standings, maybe a little playoffs, some awards, and maybe go over some more news that's been going on in the off season. We're excited to be back. Let's kick it off. Do you want to do rankings of divisions first? Do you want to go over off season news? What do you think?
We could do a little bit of off-season news. I got a lot of off-season news we could
There's
go
been a
over.
lot of chats about famed Minnesota player
Listen,
and
let's
his
start
coming
off.
contract year.
Let's start off with Kirill. All right, because he's your boy. I mean, like, come on.
That's
Now,
my sunshine.
exactly. Now, at this point in time, I wonder what the Wild's plan is because now it's out in the world. Everyone like it's put into the universe. What's gonna happen now? There has to be a big decision at some point because this will be a big storyline this year, especially early on. And for the Wild
Yeah.
specifically, the start of the season is going to be crucial for them. Like depending how they come out of the gate, is the offense like a very well-oiled offense or is it going to be a very slow struggling offense or is it going to be one mainly operated by Kirill again? That's the worry now is like you don't want one guy to control this level of an offense now, especially in such a big crucial time.
Yeah, I mean, if we're just talking about Kirill's play, you saw it last year, like during the season when he was in versus when he was out. You saw, to be fair, him and Eck were out at the same time, so that's two big pieces. And a lot of other guys like Boldy, Zuccarello, and Hartman like continued to score. Some more, obviously, some more than others. Um, but you can see the impact in that. I mean, it depends on how he plays and how the team plays around him. I don't think it's necessarily about how he plays because we know what we're going to get out of Kirill Kaprizov going into the season. We're going to get heart level hockey out of him. It literally just depends on what his supporting cast does and if we can push to either, hopefully both, but either a high standing in the division and or a playoff win, series win at that,
That would be
and that's
big
going
for
to
you
determine
guys.
whether he leaves or stays because he's a UFA. He can go wherever he wants.
Hitting the open market now. I want to talk about a few teams that have been linked to Kirill. And of course, I'm going to start with my
Here we go.
boys. Now, I'm going to be for real. The odds of the Rangers landing Kirill Kaprizov is probably 1%. Okay? Maybe less than 1%. Let's start it off with that. But at the same
You're
time,
saying there's a chance.
you're saying there's a chance. No, what I'm really saying is the Rangers off-season money, whether it's going to be spent now on a guy like Kirill Kaprizov, because if you did it now, first of all, the assets you would have to give up would be stupid high. Secondly,
Mhm.
you'd practically have to gut the depth of the roster to get him. Just to get him, and you're injecting more top-heavy talent into a team that's already a bit top-heavy. So that's already
Mhm.
up an issue one. Number two is I feel like there's somebody else the Rangers could go and spend their money on this offseason.
True. Because there's so many. The market is crazy this year. There's so many options.
And by a big option, I mean the other 97.
Oh, you mean the less good 97?
I mean,
He's not going anywhere, bro. He's not going anywhere.
let's
But
talk
that's the
about
thing.
Connor
Okay.
McDavid real quick because a report came out today because I thought this was a pipe dream. But this report today from Chris Johnson now makes me question otherwise, okay? Johnson comes out and he says that McDavid is concerned about the Oilers' aging roster. Now, the Oilers do have an extremely old roster this year. I believe they're top 5 in like age per like player. So I like the average age for an NHL like team is about like 25, 20 or 20 24, 25. But the Oilers are at about 27, I believe. So that's a big it's only two, but that's a really big jump in terms of like the
Yeah.
age numbers. So when you're looking
Exactly.
at a team like the Oilers that are constructed, they're very old. Again, another team extremely top heavy. And last year it hurt them because the depth didn't show up in the playoffs at the times when they needed it. You don't have a goalie. Like, are we really just going to run this back with Skinner again? And I don't really know if the Oilers defense can hold up again. Now, Nurse and Bouchard, they've been able to hold their own. But let's not forget that these guys get into like these insane games where the Oilers are forced to win 6-5 off the backs of Leon and Connor. That, like, we already know we're going to get the offense out of them. We also know they're going to give up 3 on almost any given night. And that's a big worry for a team like that McDavid is practically built around, that he is forced to go God mode just to win a normal game. Now, I'll let you read into that. What do you think this means with the Oilers going forward now? This changes the complexion of how the season starts now. He is now going into training camp without a contract extension. Like, that is massive magnitudes for a player of his stature.
Yeah, and it's the same situation for the Wild. But with McDavid, the obvious choice is, and it was last year and the year before that, is get your fucking team a goalie. Oh my God, go get a goalie of some sort. It's not that fucking hard. There are so many goalies that are so much better than Stuart Skinner. It's ridiculous. He is not a top 32 goalie in the NHL. There are several backups in the NHL currently that are much better than Stuart Skinner. They're cheap. Teams will give them up for not that much. They'll take Skinner in a trade and fucking bury him in the AHL where he should have been several fucking years ago. It's such a simple move. It's not expensive. You can afford it. You need average goaltending. That's all you need. Maybe not this past playoffs, but the one before that, the 7-game series, I think the Oilers take that in 6 games if they have an average goalie that isn't the epitome of like goaltending dog shit.
I 100%
in the NHL.
agree
Like,
with you.
I don't think it's so simple. I don't know what they're doing. It's literally that easy. It is that you have everything else, and you had everything else the last 2 years to win a cup. And you just it's one you have one missing piece of the puzzle. You have the biggest piece in Connor McDavid, and then another huge piece in Leon Draisaitl. But you need just that corner piece. Decent goaltending, average goaltending, and you win a Stanley Cup. It's the formula's that simple.
It could change a lot for them, and I feel like that now, like, the message has been sent, at least to the fans of Edmonton, now that it's like, I don't want to say that this is a death note, but this is definitely a scare. Now, what will it mean going forward for the Oilers? Now, they could have a contract done by November, and we've forgotten about this conversation already.
Yeah.
But let's say this trickles into like January. Now we're talking like, let's say the Oilers struggled. Is he like, could you imagine like something at the deadline? Like, that is like the ultimate, like, you never could see it in a million years moment that Connor McDavid gets moved at the deadline.
Yeah, oh yeah, a deadline trade for Connor McDavid. You're never seeing that again. You're never seeing that again.
I would say, like, you probably see some crazy astronomical event before you see something like that, because that's a once in a life. We do live in a world where that is a small possibility, though, at the moment. So
Yeah, and there's so many big players going on the market. That could happen in multiple situations where maybe it's not the same magnitude as Connor McDavid, but then you have Kirill Kaprizov and several others that are on that UFA list coming this offseason, the next offseason.
Let's step away from individual players and let's look at this from a whole perspective. The NHL really has never really had like big superstar player movement, but in the last few years, it's at least picked up a bit. Whereas, like, we see a lot of these, like, I would say not transcendent stars, but very high-end players in the NHL start moving on to other teams. And maybe there are a few transcendent players that are going to be moving on, especially in an offseason like this where it could happen with multiple occasions. But you also look at this from a bigger perspective just as a league. We look at a league like the NBA where every other weekend it feels like another superstar moves on to a new team. But when you look at the NHL, it's you get a rare complexion of it. Do you think it's a good thing that there's a lot more movement in these superstar players and we're going into a more player first mentality in the 20s and 30s?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a necessarily a good thing or necessarily a bad thing. Um, I mean, you're paying the players more. The salary cap is going up. Like more teams are willing and ready to pay, and these players that like even though they still have loyalty to these teams. Like they don't want to just like leave them behind in the dust. But it's like, what's best for that player? Is this team gonna win? It's a logistical thing, and I think in the hockey world, it is and always has been where the players do think of the team and where they live more than like say in the NBA or even the NFL, where they're not as willing to move as often as a lot of other players are, especially the superstars that are quadrillionaires that like have established homes and fucking mansions in these areas. Like they have children growing up there. Like it's not the same, but I don't think it'll ever get to a point where it's like the NBA where it's just boom, boom, here, here, here. I think we're just in a spot and it'll probably come every so like a certain amount of years because a lot of these contracts are going to be at similar lengths. It's going to come again in that set amount of years. But I think it's just like a moment that the NHL is having where it's like, holy crap, this is like it's just like an eclipse. It's like something you never. It's like Haley's Comet, and you're like, we haven't seen this ever before.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just like a new thing. I don't think it's like the change of an era, and it probably is. Most likely, it is like a change in the way we do things, but I don't think it's going to be that drastic where it goes to how the NBA works and how everybody's just going everywhere, and it's fucking nuts.
Mm-hmm. I do agree in that we're kind of in like a period where it's like this is like the big moment, and we're looking at it as like, is this gonna be all the time now? But like this offseason specifically can be so seismic in how the NHL works for the next decade. It's insane because we will now have to look back on the 2026 offseason and say, whoa, there was a lot of players that got moved at that deadline because the salaries increased and the players finally realized they could get the money that they've been deserving for a long, long time. So it's super hard to project how it's gonna go, and we'll obviously get into our season projections in a second here. But to project how like this will go just in the next like 2 years, I think we're in for something fun because the NHL like this is gonna be interesting. I don't know how this could play out though, in certain
A
aspects.
100%. Like it's you have all these like potential movements happening in the free agent market for like veterans and people that have players that have been on teams, and then you have this new scene of insanely promising rookies that are coming up right now, like Bedard, Celebrini, Steve William, Will Smith, whoever you want to say. Um, it's the NHL is changing, and I think it's changing for the better in most ways.
Yeah, that is fair. All right. Shall we move into our season predictions for the
Yes.
2025-2026 NHL season? Now, I will let you pick which division to go first. And how we'll
All
do it
right.
this time
Let's.
around is we will go bottom to top. We'll list from obviously seed 8 to seed 1 which team we think will finish in each position in each division, and we will react on each other's after that. So, which division do you want to do first?
All right. I say let's go. This is good. This is good. Let's go. Let's go with the Metro. Let's go with your home division. Let's start there.
All right.
All right.
For the Metropolitan Division, 8 spot, I have Pittsburgh. 7 spot, I have Philadelphia. 6 spot, I got the Islanders. 5 spot, I got
Okay.
Columbus. 4 slot,
Okay.
I have the Rangers. 3,
Okay.
I have the Capitals. 2, I
Okay.
have Carolina. And in the first spot, I have the Devils.
Okay. Honestly, our list is very, very similar. We're not far off. My 8 spot, your our 8 through 5 match. So I have 8 Pittsburgh, 7 Philly, 6 New York Islanders, 5 Blue Jackets, and then at 4 I have the Capitals. At 3 I have the Rangers. At 2 I have the Devils, and at 1 I have the Carolina Hurricanes.
All right. Well,
That's my
so
ranking for the Metro.
for I would say like the bottom half of the Metropolitan Division, I feel like it is kind of a little bit more cutthroat this time around than in years past.
Mhm.
Besides, I feel like the one wild card out of those teams is Columbus because Columbus showed last year that they
True.
were an extremely talented offensive team. They have a stud on defense in Zach Werenski. If they get the goaltending, they are a dangerous team because they have the pieces that they could go really deep in the playoffs this year. They have everything. They just need the goaltending, and I feel like and especially with the coaching of Dean Evison, in hindsight,
Elite.
they could be one of those teams that you look back on. It's like that's why they did really good because they had everything and they just missed one spot. Because we're not seeing it now, but in the future, you could see like Columbus has the making of a team that could go really far this year, especially as a team that's not projected as high as they are right now.
I totally agree. I think Winnipeg, like the last couple years, they've been like Winnipeg is probably gonna suck, but they could surprise you. They could do something.
Mm-hmm. No, I fully agree with that. All right, now, for the top half of this, the Capitals, a fantastic President's Trophy team this year, but neither of us picking them as the one slot. Why? Why do you not have the Capitals as the one slot?
Because okay, like you always say, it's like all good things come to an end, and like there's bound to be a regression from some one-off President's Trophy season. Did they? They didn't. Did they win a round?
They won a round.
They won the first. They won the first round. Okay, President's Trophy team that gets past one round. Like they weren't bound for the playoffs. It was Ovi's year to break the record. They had to get him the puck and just fucking shovel goals to the back of the net.
Mm-hmm.
That was their job, and it worked out. And when you're trying to score goals, usually good things happen, right?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I just think it's a one-off season. I still think they're going to be good. We saw a lot of promise out of a lot of players. Even a dog shit player like Pierre-Luc Dubois did well on the Washington Capitals. So
absolutely,
I think they just have a good system running. I know you said you love Carberry. You think he's a great coach.
I do love Spencer Carberry. One of my favorite coaches in the NHL.
So I still think they're going to be good. I think their ceiling is the second slot in the Metro and a playoff round win. Yeah. I think that's their ceiling, and I don't think that's bad because you have Ovi going out, and they don't have the best prospect pool, do they?
Not amazing. I
feel like they don't have
very, very mediocre.
Say average prospect pool.
You got a few guys in there that could definitely make the hit to the NHL for sure. You do have Ryan Leonard coming up this year, big rookie.
Yeah.
So, absolutely a good injection of youth to a team that really does need it. They are a guy. They're a team mostly built of journeyman. You got like a guy like Dylan Strome. Never really a fantastic player. You put him centering Alexander Ovechkin. He's a point per game guy. I mean, that's a fantastic get for somebody with his ability and pedigree. 3rd overall pick in one of the best draft classes ever. So good for Dylan Strome. And they have a lot of guys like that. Sorry, I blanked on his name. Logan Thompson, another guy. Backup for Vegas. He becomes a starter and almost wins the Vezina this year if Hellebuck didn't go absolutely insane. But not picked by Team Canada's Four Nations roster. Interesting in hindsight.
I mean, I feel like that worked out for him just fine.
We're not going to talk about that because we're American. Anyways, back to the Metropolitan Division.
Fuck Canada!
Okay. I'm going to have to cut that. Let's go to the Rangers next. My team. All right, now let's talk about this. We're gonna do great this year, and by great I mean we're gonna be a wild card team. But that's gonna be like winning the Stanley Cup after last season, Rangers fans. All right, let's
on the back of Igor Shesterkin,
and it will be on the back of Igor Shesterkin. But it's not just gonna be Igor Shesterkin. The Rangers got a big.
No, you don't have Keandre Miller anymore. I know you're very sad about not having Keandre Miller.
Yeah, I'm devastated by that trade. I can't believe a division rival would just so happily give us their best prospect and a 1st round pick and a 2nd round pick for a pylon on the defense. But all good things happen to the Rangers. So anyways, back to what I was saying. Igor Shesterkin is going to be the Rock this season. All right, he's going to be. I mean, I am literally wearing his jersey right now because that's just how much I believe in my sunshine. Okay, now Calvin can do that all he wants because he is a fantastic human being, person, player. Everything about him is awesome. But let's talk about the defense, all right? Adam Fox and Vladislav Gavrikov. You are now giving Adam Fox a usable D partner. It's not Ryan Lindgren. It's not Keandre Miller. Could you imagine how good Adam Fox could have been the last 3 years if he had a quality D partner? Oh wait, that's right. He was really good with a really bad D partner. What do you think he's gonna do with a great D partner? I mean, come on, like that's an absolute no-brainer of an idea. And then you look at the offense. Laffy's gonna do fantastic this year. All right, I am not biased. This is non-bias speaking from Nick Pecora. All right, let me just tell you. All right, but Calvin, what do you think about my team?
Like I said, I think they're going to be the third overall seed, like third seed from the Metro. I think they're going to be okay. I don't think they're going to get past the first round, especially if they have to play Jersey or Carolina.
If we play
Um,
Carolina, I'm excited. Just letting
yeah,
everybody know.
you're a make the playoffs, losing the first round team this year, dude. That
Unless we play
welcome to the
Carolina, then we're gonna lose
welcome
the
to the
second round.
club.
Listen,
Welcome to the
I'll
club.
tell you all this right now. If the Rangers play Carolina in the first round, we're a second round exit instead of a first round exit. That's all I'll say. All right.
Because they can't score on a regular goalie, let alone Igor. That's fair.
We beat them. That I think. Now let's talk about our. You had the Devils in the top slot, correct?
I had the Devils at 2. I had Carolina at 1.
Okay, so we had the top two swap. But let's talk about New Jersey real quick. New Jersey this season is going to be a very high volatile team because last year they were a fantastic team early on, but the injuries caught up to them again. And now this is not something new with Jersey. Okay, Hughes has missed a lot of time. Luke Hughes has missed time, and they have a lot of these younger guys who are, I would say, the stereotype of somebody that's skinny and gonna get injured a lot. And they are skinny and they get injured a lot. So the stereotype does fit the team quite well. But I really do like Jersey this year because I think Jack Hughes and his brother are going to be fantastic. And I hate to say that as a Rangers fan, but I do truly believe it. What do you think the Devils are going to be this year?
I mean, again, as my list says, I think there's definitely a very high chance that they are number one. I just, in weighing out my options, I chose Carolina. But New Jersey, obviously, they're a high skill team. They still have a lot of young guys, so it's not like they're not in win now mode. They are not yet in win now mode. So like they have time, and I think they could definitely make a conference final. You need to see Jack Hughes in the playoffs this year. Obviously, that is essentially what killed their run, is injuries in this past year's playoffs. So as long as he's healthy, obviously Luke Hughes is just going to keep getting better and better. I think they're going to be a very good team. I think most likely I would predict them to make the conference final this year. I don't think they go and win a cup, obviously, but I think they get to the conference final.
I fully agree with a take like that. And to close out the Metro, let's talk about Carolina real quick. Carolina, they're interesting because like you look at them on paper and it's like they're not great, but they've done this so many times now that it's like they don't look great and they are great that you just kind of have to believe in them. But I do think this year this defense is a little bit different because outside of Jacob Slavin and maybe Alexander Natishkin, their prospect, they don't really have a lot. Chadfield and Miller are going to be okay. You know, you lose Brett Burns on the back end, and it's like it's a tough like mix up with guys that are going to come into the lineup. So I just don't know if I can really believe in what feels like a whole new defensive core for Rod Brindamore to build around with Carolina, especially early on in a season like this. It feels like this.
Mhm.
It's like it's a tough situation for Carolina to be in. I do still love Brindamore's system. They are a fantastic team. They will go up and down the ice with anybody. They will forecheck you into the ground. Their defense activate and take so many shots. They are a well-oiled machine in that manner. But in the same time, that's a system that doesn't really win you playoff games. It's one of those that's like it's gonna be great for you because you're gonna run teams into the ground, kind of similar to the Panthers, but they're not just taking bad shots from the point. Carolina just straight up takes bad shots from the point just to get it on net and create havoc. But when it gets into the more key games in the season, guys are more locked in and they typically don't give up those goals as often. I
Yeah.
personally think that Carolina is one of those teams this year that could easily boom and go all the way to a Stanley Cup final, but I haven't seen it been done. So I have to continue with saying Carolina is just not going to be the team that comes out of the Metro again.
That's fair. That's a totally fair take. All right. Should we move on? Let's go to Central Division.
All right.
All right. In my 8th spot, I have the Nashville Predators. In my 7, I have the Chicago Blackhawks. 6, I have the St. Louis Blues, and I know you're really not going to like that. 5, I have Utah. 4, I have Winnipeg. 3, I have Minnesota. 2, I have Colorado. 1, I have Dallas.
All right.
What do you think?
It's solid. All right. It's solid. All right. Let me tell you
And yours?
In my 8th spot, I have the Chicago Blackhawks. In the 7th spot, I have the Nashville Predators. In the 6th spot, I have the St. Louis Blues. In the 5 spot,
Oh, wow.
I have the Minnesota Wild. In the 4 spot, I have the Winnipeg Jets. In the 3 spot, I have the Utah Mammoth. I'll tell you why. In the 2 spot, I have the Dallas Stars. And the 1 spot, I have the Colorado Avalanche. So I just sent a seismic wave to Calvin's mind here, and I'll let him ask the question.
Yeah, what's up with Utah, man?
Utah has just pulled off one of the most aggressive summers I've seen and taken full advantage of their analytics. Their coach, Andre Tourigny, is one of the most analytical minds in coaching this year, and he has almost maximized what he can do in his system with the guys that he has acquired. JJ Peterka is the most perfect fit on Utah that I've ever seen in a player. His style matches their system almost perfectly. This guy, Doug Armstrong and Andre Tourigny have just completely taken advantage of Utah's systems right now and putting them to full effect this offseason. I think Utah's going to come out humming this year because they are going to be one of the most strategy above teams, and they come out with that tiny bit of an edge in every game that's going to matter in these longer runs. I really like their goaltending situation as well. Varla, I can never say his name. Carla, forgot that. Can't pronounce his name. Everybody knows it. But you know the goalie, their starter, right? He's a great starter.
Oh, Vamelka? Is it Vamelka?
Vamelka. Thank you. I can never pronounce that guy's name. Vamelka is a fantastic goalie, all right? He has put what was the Coyotes and now Utah on his back so many times that it feels like if he just gets a bit of defense, which they got this year, he could be a superstar. So, I'm very high on Utah this year. They are I would say the underdog pick of the year for me. I truly think that they're going to be the team that nobody expects, and they come out humming this year.
Fair enough. I mean, evidence is there. I mean, at my 3, I had, you know,
The Minnesota Wild. Now, I think
the Minnesota Wild.
I want to know, are you annoyed at me for putting them in the 5 spot? Because I just see them more as just a bubble team again. Like, I just don't see anything
No,
different this year.
I don't. I'm not. No, I'm far from mad at you. Like, it's reasonable. I'm not gonna lie. A big chunk of that 3 spot is my delusion as a Minnesota Wild fan, and that's if you people don't know, and you probably know, that's half of being a Minnesota fan. Whatever sport it is, you need delusion. You need hope. That's what you live on, dude. It's just hope. It's just, you know what? Maybe it is this year. And I think I get where it comes from with the whole Cowboys, like, oh, it's our year, whatever. I get it. Maybe it is. But I'm not going to be like, oh, we're going to go fucking win it. It's like, fuck it, dude. Maybe. Why not?
Why not
Just
try to go far, right?
fuck it, dude. Like, come on, guys. This year, I could be the one. It could be the one. It could be the one. It could always be the one.
Now here's
It's
why.
not going to be the one. No, we're going to lose in the first round and lose Kirill, and then our franchise is fucked.
No, so here's why I do have the Wild so low in the Western Conference standings is I personally don't think the Wild are going to come out to that great start that we talked about them needing to have. They're not a team that typically does start the season well. And under Dean Evison, they didn't do it. And under John Hines, they really didn't do it. So it's like, it's one of those teams that it's like, you kind of seen the writing where it's like, they're not a good starter. They're kind of a team that comes on a little bit more in the middle. And they kind of then make their pushes. And then they slowly fade out again. But it's like, it's one of those teams that's like, their best ad of the offseason was Vladimir Tarasenko. And like, Zeev Buium's going to come up from the mind. It's just like, it's not something that's inspiring me to say that this is a team that's going to like be a threat in the Western Conference. They're just like that team that's like, they don't really know what their next decision's going to be. They kind of need to let the season play out.
You know what I think? And this is like a shot in the dark here. I think it heavily boosts our chance of like progressing, like being a good team, if one of our rookie defensemen in Juracek and William pans out and plays good this year. I think it's like, that's not the first thing you think about, but that's low key. Like, if that happens, this team could be really, really good, like sneakily good, and not just be the sucky in and out, like streaky wild that we see every fucking year.
If you look at the team on paper and you look at a defense with Brodin, Spurgeon, Faber, and Zeev Buium now, and especially if Juracek's going to come over now, that's 5 guys that you can like really believe in to like play well for you. But the problem is 3 of them are extremely young. Like Faber is established, but he still does make some young man mistakes because he's still very young, but he is an established NHL player. But the other two,
at this point,
in Buium and Juracek, we don't know what they're going to be yet. There's still a little bit more question marks on these guys. Like, how are these guys going to adjust to the pro game? How are they going to use their skills and attributes at the highest level? It's something interesting. I think out of the two, Zeev Buium does have the better chance of being obviously the better player. But I'll tell you this right now. I look at the odds over here on Zeev Buium. He is 16-1 to win the Rookie of the Year.
Older.
Yes. So he is the second favorite. It's only that Demidov is just such a heavy favorite on the Calder. So he's one of those guys that people look at and they're like, he could break out this year. So you're not wrong in that aspect. It's just that I don't know if the defense being that good is going to help the offense that much. Because the offense is where the problems lie. We know the Wild are a good defensive team, and they've been that for a really long time. It's just they go through these long stretches where they're not scoring, and that's where that's where the big problems come from.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. But like a guy like Buium and even Juracek, they're Buium's an offensive defenseman in a way, or like two-way, whatever way you want to put it. He is very helpful in the offensive zone. You can see it in his college tape with Team USA, whatever you want.
Agreed.
Check his tape.
Fully agree.
That's another huge thing. If he gets power play minutes, if he gets time with the first line on, with Kirill on the ice, he could do damage, and that's something we're gonna see. Obviously, he's a prospect. He could absolutely suck and only play one more year in the NHL and nobody fucking wants. That's always a possibility. There's always every possibility.
The one thing I will say about Zeev Buium, and I said this a long time ago when we first did the podcast, and it's like when I was talking about Keandre Miller and Adam Fox. It's like you have a guy in Keandre Miller who at that time was very talented and it looked like he could be an established player in the NHL. But you already have a guy on that roster that's about the same age as him or younger that does everything he does but better, and he already has been playing there. That's kind of what Zeev Buium is with Faber. It's because like he can't get that power play 1 minutes. That's Faber's. He doesn't get the number 1 line minutes. That's Faber's. He doesn't get who's the defenseman we need out there right now to go score the goal on that ship. That's already Faber's job. That's the problem that I see with Buium, is that he's already like the second option. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's totally fair, but again, he's a rookie. You shouldn't just throw him out here. The only time the rookies just get thrown out in every situation is when they're already on like complete shit teams like the Sharks or the Blackhawks. Like, fuck it. Just give him all the ice time he can possibly fucking get. Let's see what happens. That's not the case with Buium. He's probably going to get power play 2, PK 2 time. Like he's not gonna be the number one guy because we have that in favor, and we need that because there's the Wild are on a huge mission this year. This is a make or break year for the Minnesota Wild this season, 100% through and through. It depends on how they play. It depends on Kirill, but
Every game is going to
that's
matter for them this year.
exactly. So I mean, when it comes to William and Faber, what was I gonna say? That's kind of not step two. That's kind of the second problem that they have but that's what could excel them into being better and this season going good because it goes two ways. It goes good or it goes bad.
Exactly.
So
So
I don't see a middle ground where it's like, oh,
they finished.
so I don't even know what would fucking happen if it's just like a mediocre season. It's like we either do good and that continues, or we do bad and we hit a big fucking slump.
The middle ground is what we've seen the past 6 years is go
Exactly,
into
and
the
that's not
first round of
happening.
the playoffs and lose, and that can't happen again. If you do that again this year, I will tell you right now, Kirill is gone. Then you have to do something big, whether it's restart everything and sell, or you got to go into the playoffs and that's the push. Like this is it. You have to take your shot now.
We could do something at the like. You never know with the Wild this year. We could do something at the deadline to gain an attribute to help to like get this team past that first round hump. We don't do that at the deadline. All we do is get little third or fourth line guys, maybe a little bit better than what we got. It doesn't do anything. They fucking Trenyan, Johansson twice. Fucking who else? Who's the fucking? There's one more. He's from Nashville.
Nyquist.
Gustav, what the fuck? He did nothing. He did nothing on Minnesota. We can't do that this year. We have to go get a fucking piece. We have to get a center. A center at the deadline. I'm telling you, if the Wild sign a center at the deadline, we're good. We're good. We're not gonna win the cup this year, but we're gonna. Okay, we're not getting fucking Connor McDavid and Kirill at the same time on the same team.
What do you mean? That's literally what I have written down for the Rangers here at the bottom of this document is the Rangers will sign both of them in the offseason.
And it's just gonna be fucking sunshine and rainbows, isn't it?
Because if you say it, you manifest it, okay? Believe. What a little bit of belief does, alright? Just what a little bit. Alright?
It's not even belief. I don't believe anything's gonna go well. I hope it's gonna go well.
Alright. Next, let's talk about the other top two teams in this division. Start with, who do you have as your number one slot again?
Number one, I had the Dallas Stars, and I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, so we again actually swapped on our number one and number two slots. So I have Colorado. You have Dallas. The reason why I picked Colorado is actually just a very kind of basic answer. It's I've seen Dallas now go deep into the playoffs so many times and not win that it's like it typically happens with these teams that they keep going on these deep runs that they slowed down in the regular season a bit. They're not the best team in the division. They're the number two. Happened with Tampa, happened with the Rangers, happened with the Oilers,
Florida,
happened with Vegas. Yeah, happens with all these teams that, are these great teams in the playoffs, but, they kind of slow down the regular season. I still think Dallas, especially this year after firing Peter DeBoer, I'm a big fan of Dallas now. Are you kidding me? This team's excellent now. I can believe in them fully because they are a fantastic team. So Dallas is one of those teams that's you can look at them in the regular season and they may not be great, but come playoff time, they're going to be prepared.
Very true. I mean, they have so many pieces. They're gonna be good. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
They're so loaded. You look at the roster and it's just unbelievable. And you get a new coach that's gonna just to add more layers to the Stars is you now add a new coach that's gonna bring a whole new system, and now teams not only have to defend your fantastic four lines, they now have to find a new way to do it that was different than beating them in previous years with DeBoer's system. Now you have to see a brand new system that you have to completely adjust to. So, yeah, Dallas could definitely come out of the gate and be the number one slot, but I think towards the middle of the season they kind of they slow down and they more or less prepare for a deep run in the playoffs.
They're gonna be good. Then Colorado. I had Colorado at my 2.
Yeah.
I mean, that's big in part to Rantanen switching teams. Um, so I mean, they're good. They're gonna be good. McKinnon, McCarr, Tays, you know the drill.
You already know it. Like, that's kind of why I have them as the one slot. Is like you already know what this team's gonna be. They're gonna go one. You have these superstar guys. If you have McKinnon and McCarr, bro, you're gonna win 40 games. It just happens. Like I don't know how to explain it. It just kind
Yeah,
of happens. Like these guys are just
yeah,
so talented and so amazing. That's like, and a big thing that they did was they solved their second line center. You went out and got Brock Nelson. That was a big thing for them for so long. Was never having a center behind McKinnon that could do something great. And now you have a pretty like the depth is still a question with the team. It is, but
yeah.
it always will be when you have this high-end talent, and we talk about it every year, but the Oilers prove that if you have high-end talent, you can go far. So, you know, why not Colorado? They have the high-end talent on both sides of the puck, so.
Very true. All right, you want to go to
Atlantic.
West or East?
We just did the West. Let's go back out east. All right, let's go to the Atlantic.
All right, Atlantic. Go ahead.
All right. In my 8th spot, I have the Boston Bruins. In my 7th spot, I have the Buffalo Sabres. Sorry, Sabres fans. At the 6th spot, I have the Detroit Red Wings. At the 5 spot, I have Montreal. At the 4 spot, I have Ottawa. At the 3 spot, I have Toronto. At 2, I have Florida. And at 1, I have Tampa.
Okay, a lot of differences, but honestly, we got a pretty different list. So at my 8, I have Boston. At number 7, I have Detroit. I think Yzerman's out. I think that's a hot take for this year. I think Yzerman's finally out of
And I'm not going,
Detroit.
and I'm with you on that hot take, by the way. That is also my hot take I wrote on here. Is I think this is Steve Yzerman's last year with the Detroit Red Wings.
Agreed. Number 6, I have Buffalo. Number 5, I have the Toronto Maple Leafs. Number 4, I have the Montreal Canadiens. Number 3, I have the Ottawa Senators. Number 2, Tampa Bay Lightning, and number 1, the Florida Panthers.
Whoa.
And
You just sent shockwaves through Canada.
what do you? Oh, with Ottawa.
With Montreal over Toronto.
Yeah. Okay. And this is what I'm gonna put down as my lucky guess of the year is that Montreal is good. They have a lot of young guys that aren't completely proven. I just think there's a good chance they can finally piece it together and be top 4 in the division. They're going up. Montreal's going up. You have Hudson, you have Caulfield, you have Slavkovsky. Like, come
They
on now.
are they are a dangerous team, and you forgot to mention their big offseason splash in Noah Dobson.
True.
Another
I
big
mean,
fantastic piece for Montreal, and they're one of these teams now that's like they're so young and they're loaded. It's just like they haven't proven it yet. And that's kind of why I do have them at the 5 spot is I haven't seen them play at that level yet, and they're a bit harder to project. So
that's
I
true.
I like them. I think I think they're in the same spot as they were last year. Like they're a fringe playoff team, but now you have guys like Dimidov and Lane Hudson that come in. It's just like this team could be very exciting this year in Montreal, but I just want to see it first to believe it. So that's my reasoning.
100% fair in that sense. I was gonna say Ottawa. I like Ottawa at 3. I think you'll see later a specific reason why I think Ottawa is 3. But what was I gonna say? I don't know. I think they can do it. I think they weren't as truly as bad as they looked in the regular season necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
We saw in the playoffs they put up a fight. That series was closer than it looked, in my opinion. Um,
I agree.
yeah, I like Ottawa. I think they're a tough team. I think they kind of play. They're kind of like a pretty fundamentally sound team. They just do the basics, and I think it's gonna work out. I don't know. I just thought, you know what, Ottawa looks good here. I think I think they do well.
I do like Ottawa this year. Ottawa has a lot of upside this year. We saw what they could be last year, and they gave the Leafs, who did beat them in a series. Crazy, I know, but they did beat them, and Ottawa, they did look very good throughout that whole series. So they kept it close, and if they were to get into another series with them, I could so see it going Ottawa's way, especially now without Marner on the Leafs. And we'll get to Toronto, but Ottawa itself, they have a lot of good pieces this year. It's just like, I don't know if they're the high end team in that Atlantic division. I just don't see them as a top 3 team with, Brady Tkachuk as maybe their best player, with Jake Sanderson and Shabbat as their defense and Allmark as the goalie.
What's
Stutzel is fantastic, but when you look at the Sens, you look more at Brady Tkachuk, and Stutzel has missed a lot of time for the Sens the last 2 years.
Very true. But I don't know. I think they can put it together. I don't know. I have faith in Ottawa for some reason. Like I have nothing against Ottawa, and I don't like Toronto. So
I don't like
put them at the
Toronto
3.
either, but I have Toronto at 3 just because they're very volatile. It's a big transition year for the core, but you got to remember that Morgan Riley and William Nylander and Austin Matthews and Tavares and Nyes, they're all still there. Like, they got rid of Marner, and it's not like there's nothing else there right now. Like, this team is still a great team. Like, you might have the best goal scorer in the NHL on your team. You might have one of the better defensemen in the NHL in Morgan Riley. And they have a great goaltending tandem with Stolars and Joseph Woll. And especially with Craig Berube behind the bench. I mean, they look great last year. So I'm going to continue with Toronto as my 3 spot, because I feel like if they just didn't run into the Panthers last year, they were going to go on a nice run, because they just happened to run into the eventual Cup champions. And again, took them to 7. So I'm going to roll with them to go in my 3 slot this time.
I mean, I think that's a completely fair take. I just kind of have the opposite end of the view with the whole Marner thing. I think they struggle without Marner. I do think more than likely they do make the playoffs. They make the playoffs. Let's be real. They make the playoffs. I'd probably mess up this list a little bit, but I don't hate it. I still don't hate it.
A good team always.
But I think they struggle without Marner early. I think if they're going to make the playoffs, they're going to find their footing late in the season. Maybe an acquisition at the deadline, and they can definitely go on a playoff run unless they run into the famed Florida Panthers.
Yeah. The Florida Panthers. So I actually have them as the 2 slot, and again, same reasoning I have with Dallas again. And they did it last year.
Yep.
They're the prime example of this. Is they didn't do anything in the regular season. At the end, it felt like it looked like they didn't even care. And then game 1 of the playoffs, it's like whack, we're the best team in the NHL again. Like, so I'm
it's
just
like, hey guys, forgot?
Did you forget? Like, like the Panthers are. I don't know how to say it. They literally have the exact same team. Plus, they have more than last year.
What did Bennett sign for? 8 or 9 million?
8 million.
Ekblad signed for what, 5?
Like 9 or something, or 7. Like.
Oh, I thought he signed for way less.
I don't even remember. It's been so long because they did it like right after the cup. They did it while they were celebrating for the cup. They were signing extensions to all stay together.
They were fucking unbelievably drunk, and they're like,
I love you guys. I'm staying here for another year. Yeah. I completely forgot. Ekblad's contract is worth $6 million.
Yeah. That's what it was.
That's right.
You know how many teams would have paid him 12? Not 12.
10,
maybe 12.
10.
10.
10.
10.
10's a valid number. By the way, they are over the cap right now. Don't know how they're going to fix
Who do they have? Oh.
IR. Oh! Matthew Tkachuk still on IR. Oh! I fixed it. The problem's been solved, everybody.
There we go.
There we go. But seriously, the Florida Panthers, I don't even know what to say about them. Is they're that good. We play the Rangers. We play them in the Winter Classic. I'm scared because they're gonna treat that as a playoff game. Terrified actually. I don't know if I want to go. The more I thought about it, because like all year I'm like, yes, I'm gonna get to go to the Winter Classic in Florida. Like that's gonna be sick. And in the last few weeks, I've just had this thought process like the Panthers are going to care about that game. And that's just not going to
A
be.
lot.
They're going to care a lot. It's their home winter classic. They're going to care a lot. And so basically all we have to do is just have Igor like with a 50 save shutout. Simple.
The formula.
It works every time. Works every time. It's just
Yeah, they're gonna be gross.
Yeah,
They're gonna be gross.
Genuinely, I don't know what to say about the Panthers. They look incredible. They straight up look incredible. So that's about it. And then of course I have the one slot as Tampa, but like let's be so for real, like it doesn't even matter because like these teams don't even care about the seeding or home advantage in the Atlantic anymore. Like they just don't care. So yeah, Tampa's my one slot. I think they're gonna be still a great team. They extended the depth. You know, Yanni Gourds, Gonzalez, they all stayed. They're gonna be a good team. Vasilevsky's still there. Hedman's still there. I worry, when will the wheels fall off on those last two though? Like how many more tries do they really have with Vasi and Hedman before it's kind of just Point and Kucherov there? So I don't know, but they're still young enough now that they have the wheels. So I until I've seen them start to fall off where it's like I begin to question their abilities, I cannot question Tampa. And the year I questioned Tampa, I looked like a moron. So I'm not doing it again.
Nope. Can't.
Refuse.
All right.
To the final division.
West Coast. West Coast. At my 8, San Jose Sharks. At my 7, Anaheim Ducks. 6, Calgary. 5, Seattle Kraken. 4, LA. 3, Vancouver. 2, Edmonton. 1, Vegas Golden Knights.
All right. I have one on this list. It might shock you, but I don't know. All right. 8, San Jose. 7, Anaheim. 6, Seattle. 5, LA. 4, Vancouver. 3, Calgary. 2, Edmonton. 1, Vegas.
Wow. I have Calgary at my 6. You have them at your 3. Why do you think Calgary does that well?
I really like Dustin Wolf as a goalie. Like, so I'm basing this projection completely off their defense being fantastic and Dustin Wolf having a fantastic year. They're going to win those games, those 2-1, 3-2 games. They're going to win those battles. But they have a lot of young offensive talent this year that could boom. I'm betting on the fact that offense is just going to be mediocre and the defense and goaltending just take another tiny step up. That's what I see with Calgary. I see them, they were a middle of the pack team last year. They got really close for a playoff push. I think this year with another year at Dustin Wolf, now behind the defensive system and them getting a little bit better, I like Calgary this year. I think they're another really good team out west. The West is a little bit more volatile because I have the Kings at 5, but I could still see them making the playoffs just because the West is very tight. Because I have Minnesota at 5 in the Central, and I could also see them making the play. The West is like, I think from the 4 to the 12 slot in the West, it's gonna be about like a 10-point range. Like I think it's gonna be a very, very tight year in the Western Conference because there's a lot of close teams in the whole conference, not let alone the division. So I like Calgary, but on the opposite end of the spectrum, I don't like LA this year. I thought LA had one of the most catastrophic off seasons I've ever seen. I mean, like, the signings that they made were just peak delusion. I mean, Cody Ceci got $4 million. Like, that's just straight up delusion, LA. I just don't understand it. LA hasn't won a series in 4 years because they've lost to Edmonton. So I'm just not buying into it. I'm not buying into the 1-3-1 anymore with them. So we saw that they were badly coached last year because their coach ruined the series in Game 3 versus the Oilers with that challenge. So it's a small thing, but you see how it changed the whole course of how they played out. I mean, they went from being that close to up 3-0 on the series to losing the next 4. So it's like I'm not buying into the team this year. So I think they had a terrible offseason. They're going backwards, and I just don't like LA this year. So I gotta I'll see it to believe it, but I'm just not a fan.
You make a lot of valid points. I think they're going to be average. That's why I put them at 4. I don't think they're going to be anything special. They're going to lose in the first round again, and
Yeah, it's not like I'm
uh,
putting them below the Sharks or anything. I'm just saying I don't think
yeah,
they're in
yeah,
the elite of the division anymore, especially after the last 2 years.
exactly.
It's just bad luck with them.
Yeah, and then 3, I have Vancouver. I don't know. I think Pedersen and Besser pull it together. You still have Quinn Hughes, you still have Thatcher Demko.
Yeah, I got them at
Should
4.
they got a coaching change, right, or no?
Vancouver? Did I have notes here.
Or
Yes,
was that in
yes,
season?
yes. Adam Foote is now their head coach. That is correct. He is a quality head coach, but we just haven't proven it yet. So it's a learning curve with him. But I think there's a lot of talent on Vancouver. So I think it's a good bounce back year for Pedersen. I think Hughes is going to be fantastic. I think you got rid of the problem in JT Miller, but he's not a problem for us. So he was a problem for you, not a problem for us. He's our captain now.
That's true.
Forgot about that.
I did see that.
But yeah, so
Um,
Besser's still there, so I think Vancouver's going to be interesting. I don't know if I like the Evander Kane trade though. That's like a one I'm a little iffy on.
Dude, he keeps signing places where there's casinos nearby. It's not gonna work well. Vancouver, that's a lot.
Next he's gonna sign in Minnesota so he can play at the casino arena.
He's gonna be like, you say Grand? I get paid to go to the Grand Casino,
I get
and
paid.
he's gonna be like, get paid?
I get paid?
Oh my
god! I thought I just gambled it. I get paid? That's crazy.
I get paid?
Yeah, but in the upper half of the division, we do have the same 2. I have the Oilers at 2 and Vegas at 1. So let's start with the Oilers.
Yeah.
Back-to-back losses in the Stanley Cup final. We already talked about Connor's future. This is an interesting year for the Oilers because it's like you just went to the Cup final back-to-back years. I don't know if you get back there again. Like, are you really going to go 3 straight times with a little bit of a worse team now? And they've had the mileage on them, and they didn't really come out on top. Like, it's a demotivated, tough area for the Oilers right now where it's like you're kind of in the spot where it's like you are still one of the elite teams in your division, but you're coming off of just such a tough 2 years now, especially losing to the Panthers twice. It's just one of those like bad omen situations where it's like you're not the team that you were the last 2 years when you were the peak of your like talents, you know what I mean? And it's not to knock on Connor and Leon. It's like they're going to be great, and Bouchard's going to be great, and they're going to score a lot of goals. It's just I just don't see them getting back to a top tier team this next year. I see them more as just like, they're good, not great.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. Obviously, we discussed earlier what they need to do to get to that level, and we already gave the answer, which is a goalie. But I think we could either see him pull a Buffalo Bills or a Cleveland Cavaliers here. Either they lose like 3 or 4 straight, or it's like Cavs Warriors, where it's like Warriors got the first 2, and then it was the Cavs, right?
Yep. So basically, what I'm hearing is this year we're gonna get the exact same Cup final. We're gonna get it a third time.
Probably, most likely, yes.
The Panthers are gonna go up 3-1, and Connor McDavid is just gonna have the greatest 3 games of his life to bring the cup to Edmonton, and then he'll sign his contract extension.
And be like, oh, here you go.
That's the other side of the spectrum that I don't want to see. I want to see the other side of the spectrum where, like, Edmonton burns and Connor's, walking around in New York City like, hi, Connor, nice to meet you. Hi. And then he has no personality because no New Yorker has personality.
He's not a fucking New Yorker, but he's just Connor McDavid, so he has no personality.
Bro, he would fit in, though. He'd fit in perfectly.
He'd be a great New Yorker, dude.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. See, I'm
no,
pointing
he's
out
too
all
nice. He's Canadian. He's too nice to be a New Yorker.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Dude, if you're from New York, you gotta be a fucking dick.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm the nicest guy in the world. See what I mean? All right, let's talk.
He's a terrible person.
The last team let's talk about here in our team predictions. Let's talk about Vegas. All right. Vegas,
Yeah.
I mean, they land Mitch Marner. Huge. They're
Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, Shea Theodore. What do you want? They're gonna
yeah.
fucking dude. It's them
Uh
or Edmonton in the final from the
yeah.
West.
I do want to say one thing though. I am very sad about what happened to Alex Petrangelo. It sucks. You know, you just you never expect shit like this to happen to somebody. So, you know, hopes go out for him
I
in the future.
forgot exactly what happened. What
Uh,
what what happened to Petrangelo?
bad injury. He's not gonna play this
Oh,
year. So you know, it sucks for Petrangelo. I
oh,
mean,
you don't have Petrangelo anymore.
yeah,
Shit. Never mind.
yeah, no Alex Petrangelo this year, and you know, Shea Theodore is going to finally get to the chance to be the number one defenseman. Like he's gonna get every opportunity now, and I've always been a big fan of Shea Theodore. I have always loved Shea Theodore. Even when he was drafted by the Ducks, I was a big fan of this kid. But now he finally gets the chance to be like the I'm the guy here for every situation. So I think he could be really underrated this year, especially with Vegas having such a loaded offense. They could be, man, their games with Edmonton could just be absolutely fantastic to watch. Let me tell you,
Oh, barn burners.
barn burner, 7-6 every time. But Vegas at least has like a little bit of defense. What was that, 6-7? What was that? Sorry, what happened?
Terrible. Yeah,
Terrible.
the Vegas is a fucking powerhouse. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
They're going to be.
they look great. All right,
All right, let's get
let's.
through awards.
All right. What award are we gonna talk first?
Let's go with the big one. Let's go with the big S.
The
Lord
big
Stanley himself.
the big
Stanley
S.
Cup. The Florida Panthers.
Yeah, it's for the Florida Panthers. I actually really wanted to pick Dallas because I am very high on Dallas this year. I think they are the only team that literally could stand in the way of Florida become I mean, other than Edmonton, they're the two teams that I think could stop Florida from winning the cup this year are Dallas and Edmonton. But if that's it. Like that is it. But the Panthers are still so far ahead of those two that it makes no sense to even think that anybody else is going to win it. Yeah. I think this is an easy three-peat. I mean, like they brought back everybody
Yeah.
and everybody is still in fantastic shape and they have been able to knock off the mileage that they've gotten because the guys aren't playing every day. They rest guys out every once in a while. They give these guys 2 game breaks. You know, they Matthew Tkachuk, oh, he got hit hard that game. Oh, you get the next game off, bro. The other guys got it.
And they can do that.
And they can do that because their roster is just so loaded that they don't need to play 82 games, all these guys. So they're going to come into the season. They're going to do what they do. And then once the playoffs start, you just know the Panthers are going to turn it on. So, yeah, I got the Panthers. I just don't see anybody that stands in their way. Another key thing that I do want to say, the Panthers' odds to win the Stanley Cup, plus 600. That is the lowest the opening odds for a Stanley Cup team has ever been. And that includes the back-to-back champion Penguins when they were back when they came out of the third time around. They were actually the second favorite. They weren't even the favorite after being back-to-back champions. Tampa was the favorite, but they were plus 1,000. So the odds makers giving massive respect to the Panthers there. And that means a lot because they didn't get the respect in the playoffs last year. They were underdogs a lot. So they're finally
Mhm.
getting massive respect from people that are very smart and know every stat out there on how to adjust those lines. So big things with that. I fully back that. So I'm fully backed
Yeah,
on the Panthers this year.
100%. All right. And then for the President's Trophy, your regular season champions, I have the Dallas Stars because I have them going one in the Central. I think they're just going to be that good. They're so dominant in every facet. They have every tool you could ever want on a team. Like, they're just going to put it together in the regular season and be fucking unbelievable.
I have the Vegas Golden Knights, but that's a valid take too. I have no problem with
Both
you picking
valid.
Dallas. No problem with either of those selections.
Yeah. All right. Next, I have the Hart Trophy. And this is going to be kind of random, but it's also going to make a lot of sense. I put Cale Makar. I think he's, how old is he now? How old's Cale Makar? 26, 8,
Drafted in 2017. Hold on.
17? So
Yeah.
29?
Yeah, the He-Shirt draft.
No, not 29. He's 27.
Yeah, 27. So yeah, he's 27.
27. He's in his peak.
He's literally in his
Like,
athletic prime right now, and he is
yeah,
the definition of this generation's defenseman. He is the defenseman that the next generation defensemen are going to model their game after. So
exactly.
so
So I have him as my heart.
That's a fantastic
I gotta
pick.
get there.
My pick for the Hart Trophy is going to come to a shock to everybody. All right, I have picked Connor McDavid to win the Hart Trophy this year, guys.
Who?
Yeah, I picked Connor McDavid to win the Hart Trophy. He has lost the last 3 years, and he's due because he's gonna put up like 130 points this year. It's a contract year. Everybody plays better in a contract year. McDavid's gonna play great in a contract year, right? Like, come on, McDavid in a contract year? That's crazy. And another thing, I'll say this again about the odds. He is plus 200 to win the Hart. Kucherov is second at plus 500. So you can think about that however you want. I know McDavid is the best player by a mile, and most people think that, but that's big respect as well. So I'm high on McDavid this year. I think he's gonna do great. I just think the rest of the Oilers are gonna suck. So yeah, it sucks.
Fair. All right, next on my list is the Calder. Who do you have for the Calder?
I have Ivan Demidov.
And contrarily, I have Steve William. That's, fair bias there.
Yeah. I have Z Boyum on my dark horses though for the for the Calder. Another dark horse that I would like to mention for the Calder, real quick, Ryan Leonard for the Washington Capitals. He has very high potential to come out of the gate and score 30 goals, especially having a lot of experience towards the end of the year and playing in the playoffs for the Capitals. So
Capitals.
yeah, I'm very excited for them. For him exactly. So he's going to be a great player for the Caps, and he's got a great coach. So he's going to be used correctly. So I have him.
Agreed.
All right. Next up, Vezina.
The guy on the back of your jersey, that's who I put down.
And that is exactly who I put down too. Shesterkin, you put a defense in front of him, and I think he's going to do fantastic things this year. I would not be shocked if I found out that Shesterkin is going to have a 930 save percentage this year. I don't think that's out of the question. He had a 940 in front of a terrible defense. So why not 930 in front of a good defense? So I'm all for it. I think Igor is going to have a fantastic year and take the throne away from Hellebuck because he's won a lot now. He's got we're going to look back at Hellebuck and say, wow, that guy, he must have been great. He won so many Vezina trophies. I'm sure he won so many playoff games. And then we're going to laugh because he didn't.
Terrible. Lights are too fucking bright.
They're too bright. Turn them off.
Turn those lights off. All right, next, my Norris, and it corresponds directly with my heart pick, is Cale Makar. I think he gets the double award. Self-explanatory. It's Cale fucking Makar. Like, what are you going to do? Yeah. And I know you have Adam Fox.
I have Quinn Hughes.
You have Quinn Hughes? Okay.
I have Adam Fox at 2. I have Cale Makar at 3. I have the 3. It's the, I don't know what you call it. The trio. The best 3 defensemen in the NHL. All right.
Yeah.
It's the best 3. So, yeah. They're just gonna continue to flip around with each other. Like, one will win, the other 2 will win. Like, and it's just gonna keep going back and forth until the wheels fall off. Yeah. So, very high on them. Very excited for what they could. For what Quinn Hughes can do this year. I think he's going to be a very, very high-scoring defenseman in an Adam Foote system. So he's going to be used like I could see a 100-point season. I really could. It's very possible from him. So, yeah.
100%.
Dark horse though, Lane Hudson. Good odds on.
You think so?
He could. He has the offensive ability to at least be in the numbers with Makar and Hughes and Fox.
Fair.
If you got the offensive
that's
numbers,
what the voting goes on today.
Exactly. That's what the voting goes off of, and Hudson could definitely be a point per game defenseman this year. So it's worth a shot. It's worth a long shot if you want to take it.
All right, and for the Selke Award, the best defensive forward in the NHL, I think Minnesota's very own Joel Eriksson finally gets his hands on it. I know he's always been in the talks of it. He's been kind of in and out, but again, if it's gonna be a boom or bust year for the Wild, my predictions are gonna be boom because remember the delusion. Don't forget the delusion. I'm gonna predict the boom, and I think Ek has a great defensive season. He's an amazing defensive forward, 5-on-5 PK, wherever you need him. Overtime, he's reliable. I love Joel Eriksson Ek. He's another keystone to the Wild.
And
I think he finally gets his hands on a Selke trophy.
And Joel Eriksson Ek is a fantastic player, but he is my number 2. And I have Sasha Barkov.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair.
One. It's just that extra.
There's no more Patrice Bergeron, so.
There's no more Patrice Bergeron, and he is now Patrice Bergeron. However, and I want to point this out, Kopitar is retiring this year. I could see a world where the voters, if he has a really good year, like he just has like that, like a really good send off, like some of these guys do, that he could steal an award that's like kind of always been like his award when Bergeron didn't win it. So
yeah,
I could see one of
100%.
those moments where the voters are like, you give respect to a guy like that, he steals it. So yeah,
but he's still got to do really, really good. If he's average, they're not gonna just give it to him. He still has to be really good.
This is like one of those dark horses, like where it's like everything has to go right, but it could, like, it's one of those crazy long shots that absolutely has that potential.
Yeah, that's like the that's a real dark horse. That's a real dark horse.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. And then for Coach of the Year, the Jack Adams Award, and this ties in with my pick in the Metro. I have Atlantic, Ottawa, Travis Green. That's why I think they're going to be successful. And this is my wild guess of the year. I know I said this about something else earlier, but this is another wild guess of the year. I don't know much about Travis Green. I don't know what he runs, but I'm just going to say, fuck it, dude. Ottawa Senators all the way this year.
To every hockey nerd like myself, he did just say Travis Green was going to win the Jack Adams, and I'm going to let him say it without any rebuttal because this is going to be hilarious in 11 months. I am going with Andre Tourigny, ladies and gentlemen. I am going with the Utah Mammoths coach. It ties into my pick. I think he's going to do fantastic things this year. I'm very excited for him, and he is the heads-on favorite to win it this year. By a long shot, too. By a big long shot. Second, I have my own Mike Sullivan, though, because I think he could do fantastic things with the Rangers this year in his first year, and he is still a top 5 coach in the NHL.
The voting polls are going to say Travis Green and then John Hines. That's what's going on this year.
If the voting polls say that, I will jump off a building because I will have learned nothing about hockey in 10 years. I will have learned that it is still a crapshoot, and Travis Green and John Hines can win Jack Adams awards. But that won't happen because
Indeed.
That's like fairyland.
Indeed.
All right.
I think that wraps up the recoup, the resurgence of the Toe Drag podcast.
It's a big resurgence.
Oh, have we done a podcast since I've been in the apartment?
We may have, but I think we did actually.
I don't think we posted it though.
It may have not been a posted one. All right. This might be it. This might be the first one here.
I'm an adult now, people. I know you've seen me grow. You love me. I'm the hilarious co-host of the podcast. Everybody loves me more than my co-host. So, welcome to the apartment.
And I'm in the exact same spot as every other podcast filmed before.
I was going to say, Nick's background is the same.
Nothing has changed at all. The same 2 signs are still there. Nothing has changed at all.
That's the thing.
And this is literally the exact same spot that we have filmed the first podcast right here.
No.
Oh,
the
other
first
room.
podcast was recorded on the table with my laptop.
It's true. And then we decided to convert to the desk that you see before us with this amazing background of a curtain that doesn't get moved. Anyways, guys.
People, look at all the color. Look at the sign, people, the display. Shout out Cardi, Swamp Enzo. Yeah, we'll cut that out. You see the display, it's super nice, like whatever. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you for listening, watching,
viewing, and
Stay
subscribing. Sexy. Like and subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in. See ya.
Stay sexy.